Grapha is coming to Master Duel very soon, and it will have a big impact. But why would it have an impact? It's a Dark World card and they lost Silva. Well, this actually improves Branded. If you still need a beautiful deck box or playmat, go to zerodamagegaming.com and use the code SOLEMN for a discount. So how would this improve Branded in Master Duel? What is Branded's biggest fear? Ash Blossom. Of course it's Ash Blossom. And Ash Blossom actually gets completely annihilated by the inclusion of Grapha in Branded. So right here on the screen, you see the type of engine that we want to be running in order to completely destroy Ash in Branded from now on. Of course, the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon is the proxy for Grapha. Now, in terms of the engine, of course, there's tier cards. Tier cards are the best cards in the universe. But everything else you're already playing. You're already playing your Cartesia, you're already playing your Fusion Deployment, you're already playing your Grand Guignol, and the only thing we really added is some tier cards and a Muddy Mud Dragon. Now, I want to tell you, the tier cards, you choose how many you want to play. Do you want to max them out in a bigger pile with maybe stuff like Edge Imp Chain in order to have even more fusion payoff? Cool. Or do you want to just keep it a lean somewhat engine that also then gives you access to Perlerino in order to pop a floodgate from time to time? That's all fine and dandy as well. But so how does this actually play around Ash Blossom? Let me show you. So right here we just have a quick little combo tutorial. I'm starting off with Planet Perlerino, but this can be any tier element name that actually fuses. So we're going to activate the Perlerino because it's just better to have one up. And then in this case, we're going to add a tier elements Merly. Next, we're going to activate Fusion Deployment, and that's going to special summon out our Cartesia. So now our field is this, and this is our hand. We're going to activate Cartesia to start a fusion summon, and the Cartesia together with the Merly will form a Grand Guignol. So these will be going to the graveyard, and then you're going to start a new chain. Chainlink 1 is going to be Merly to do a new fusion, and there is plenty of legal targets because this and this makes Dragostapelia. Chainlink 2 is going to be the Grand Guignol sending Muddy Mud Dragon. You send Muddy Mud Dragon to the graveyard, and now Muddy Mud Dragon actually counts like a King of the Swamp. It can be any fusion material. So the Muddy Mud Dragon is going to fuse together with the Merly. So Muddy Mud back to the extra, Merly back to the deck, and that creates Grapha. Because Grapha says it needs the specific Dark World monster and any dark. So the Muddy Mud Dragon is a specific dark monster, and Merly is any dark. Now, why does this protect you from Ash? Grapha actually says it can negate a normal trap, a normal spell, or a monster effect by replacing that effect and turning it into a discard one. So the Grapha basically says whenever you get ashed, you discard a card and the ash doesn't do anything. This means you can now freely resolve your Branded fusion, and if they don't ash it, cool, you still have an Omni Negate for next turn for free on top of your board. Also, check out this beautiful playmat. I mean, go to zerodamagegaming.com, use the code SOLEMN for a discount. This essentially makes it to where any Branded hand that involves Cartesia, which is hopefully most of them, and any tier name is now gonna be a protected Branded fusion that also ends on a free Omni Negate on top of that. Now, some of you might say, hey, but I play Crossout Designator. It does the same thing. Well, first of all, not really, because you're not getting a free Omni Negate. And secondly, the big issue with Crossout Designator is that when your opponent doesn't hand trap you, it's just sitting there in your hand, not doing anything. It is a non-engine piece that is essentially dead until your opponent does something. Meanwhile, the tier element cards actually improve your board. Now, I'm not telling you to not play Crossout. Obviously, we still want to cross out a Maxi and stuff like that, but suddenly you now have one more way to deal with Ash Blossom or any other hand trap that also improves your engine in other ways. Don't forget, these tier cards can also be follow-up. You could next turn resolve a Branded fusion sending a tier card, and the tier card makes a free fusion on top of what you were already trying to do anyway. Now, you could also ask the question, why is this then not being played in the TCG? And in my opinion, the primary reason we're not doing this in the TCG is because of Kashtira. Kashtira is the best deck right now, and it basically turns off the graveyard. Arise Hard banishes this stuff, Shifter banishes this stuff, and that's something they already want to side against us because that way we can't puppet log them and stuff like that. And so adding even more cards to your deck that technically increase your ceiling but make your Kashtira matchup worse, which should be your most common matchup, is just not something something we want to be doing right now. But in my opinion, once Kashtira is gone, I will start playing the tier cards in the deck again. So in Master Duel, as long as there is no Kashtira, I will gladly be putting Graphas on top of my branded board, insulate me against Ash Blossom, and also just have free Omni Negates on top of my board. So again, this is going to be the engine I'm going to be working with. Once Grapha actually drops in-game, I will of course do a updated deck profile with some new combos and test hands for you. But until then, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.